What's going on, guys? It's Cheesy and welcome back to another Sunday breakdown. I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to be taking a look at the STYRIAN Grand Prix, and this one was a pretty interesting one. I did enjoy watching this one myself. This is my favorite circuit to both watch and race. As I said in the last episode, if you guys haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. But I wasn't so knowledgeable on why it was called the STYRIAN Grand Prix, but actually it is the southern eastmost state of Austria, and that's where Steinberg is. So in fact, it's in Austria, but it's in Styria, Austria. So state in Austria. That's why it's called that, and that's why we get to have two wonderful races here. Very happy about that. Always ecstatic for two double headers, and hopefully enjoy that. But if you guys do enjoy, leave a like on the video. Consider subscribing. Without any further ado, let's get into it. I hope you all are doing well today, and we're going to be looking at the Austrian STYRIAN Grand Prix. So a little bit different there, but we're going to be taking a look at this race, breaking it down for you guys in Steinmark, the 2021 first race at the Red Bull Ring. It's actually a pretty fun race. I enjoy it myself, and it was quite eventful. We see how people struggle, obviously, because it is a very fast track, and qualifying pace does make up a significant factor. When you bring everything together, obviously you want to be as fast as you can in qualifying either way, but it does make a significant difference here. But we'll start off with Friday, as we always do. Free practice one. Now everyone's hopping in the car. It's been a while. I think it's been almost a year. This is around the time where we had this race last year, and we'll be talking about it now. We did see Kubica get in the Alfa Romeo. He was one of the three drivers that came in the preseason meets and livery showing. We usually don't see that too much. The reserve driver or test driver doesn't usually come out to the livery showing, but he made a special appearance, and we would know that he would be very present in the team and going on there. So for free practice one, he stepped in for Kimi and was able to drive for them, which was pretty interesting to see how he got in that car. It's nice to see him back on the track. So going down the order here, Nikita Mazepin finished the order with a 108.08, almost 2/10 behind Kubica, which was he's pretty unfamiliar with the car. In a way, he hasn't really been out on track in a public setting, but him going 19th fastest, Schumacher on the 18th, Latifi in 19th, Lando Norris in 16th, George Russell in 15th, Seb in 14th, Perez in 13th, Ricciardo in 12th, Sainz in 11th, and Charles Leclerc in 10th place. Both Ferraris starting in the back of the grid, but then you have another Ferrari, of the one of Antonio Giovinazzi in 9th place, Lance Stroll in 8th, Ocon in 7th, Fernando Alonso in 6th place, Yuki Tsunoda in 5th, Valtteri Bottas in 4th, Lewis Hamilton in 3rd, Pierre Gasly making a special appearance in that 2nd place spot with a 106.166, and Max Verstappen getting the top time of that morning with a 105.9. That would soon be smashed in FP2 with a 105.4. Taking a look at qualifying now, the pole time was a 103.8, so pretty blazing fast, I do have to say. Yuki Tsunoda making top pace, and so as Pierre doing very nicely there. He was able to stay on top form, and really did like to see that. The pace that Antonio Giovinazzi has here is actually incredible. I think he's a significantly underrated driver. He doesn't get the credit that he should, and I want to point him out specifically here because he does an amazing job. Moving down in the afternoon, though, we do see Kimi back in the car. I believe Kimi was back in the car. Kimi was back in the car. I had to confirm that, but he was back in the car, and we'll be going down the order there. Times were pushed up, though. The field was a little bit more close together with the 107.669 being Nicholas Latifi's fastest lap. There was only 19 cars running here. As I go down the list, I'll figure out which ones didn't race, but it looks like it was the one of Yuki Tsunoda wasn't out on the track. Or no, the other car. But I'll be going down, and you guys can see the other AlphaTauri wasn't there, I believe. Nikita Mazepin in 18th, Mick Schumacher 17th, George Russell 16th, Yuki Tsunoda 15th, Kimi Raikkonen 14th, Charles Leclerc 13th, Valtteri Bottas 12th, Carlos Sainz 11th, Antonio Giovinazzi 10th, Sergio Perez 9th, Lance Stroll 8th, Lando Norris 7th, Seb 6th, Fernando Alonso 5th, Lewis Hamilton, Ocon, Ricciardo, and Verstappen. You get a whole team of list of teammates: Max Verstappen, Ricciardo, and Ocon. Then you also get those guys. I forget who. I don't know who, but yeah, I think Charles Leclerc and Kimi Raikkonen were teammates for a short time. And then you have obviously Haas all bunched together, guys that know each other very well. Found that interesting, not planned, but very nice. Max Verstappen has that fastest time of the day with a 105.412. Nice way to finish off that day. Gives him some confidence coming into Saturday's qualifying and last practice, so he can get everything done there. But moving on, good night's sleep, and then you get back. Everyone raced. Everyone put in some laps. The least being 18 by Lance Stroll, but we see that wouldn't really affect him for qualifying. Didn't really affect him for qualifying. Slightest bit, but it is what it is, and we'll go on there after we go through this and carry on with the day. So Nikita Mazepin going down with a 106.692. Very nice lap from him, but it wasn't enough, He's shaving down his times and trying to do the most that he can, but it still leaves him at 20th place. Lando Norris in 19th, Nicholas Latifi in 16th, Daniel Ricciardo 17th, Schumacher, Raikkonen, Russell, Sainz, Ocon, and Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi finishing the 11th spot, just not making it out of the top 10 with a 105.556, only a tenth slower than the 10th place of Sebastian Vettel. Very nicely done from him. Moving down, the two Aston Martins side by side. Lance Stroll in 9th place, Fernando Alonso in 8th, Charles Leclerc making an appearance in the top 10 for this weekend so far. Pierre Gasly in 6th place, Yuki Tsunoda in 5th, Perez in 4th, Bottas in 3rd, Max Verstappen slowing down a bit, but that wouldn't stop him in qualifying, as we'll talk about soon, and Lewis Hamilton getting the top time of that practice session with a 104.369. Very nicely done from him. The drivers grab some lunch, do what they need to do, and it's show time. The Saturday man himself did make it out of Q1. Oh my goodness, I'm giving y'all too much hope. When I say this. He was 100th out of Q2, but he did make it out of Q1, and he did well. He did well for himself, but let's not get too carried away. Let's talk about Q1 first. Nikita Mazepin setting a 106.192. That would be his fastest lap, I believe, for the race weekend. In 20th place, though, Mick Schumacher falling closely behind. Not even a tenth up. Kimi Raikkonen in 18th, Esteban Ocon in 17th, and Nicholas Latifi in 16th. Showing some pace there. Almost a second ahead of Nikita Mazepin, though, and only 4 places up. So we really can see how spread out the grid will be this year. There's a big skill gap, I think, and pace gap. I shouldn't say skill, because they're all skilled drivers between last and first. They're all very skilled drivers, but the pace is much different. Giovinazzi did make it out of Q1, so did George Russell. Very nice to see that. We had a disappointing qualifying in Q2 from Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz. Two men that I would like to see within the top 10, but they weren't able to pull it off here. We see Antonio Giovinazzi go 15th fastest, Seb file into the 14th spot, Ricciardo in 13th, Carlos Sainz in 12th, and George Russell in 11th place. George Russell outqualified some really highly rated guys on my scale, on my tier list. If you guys saw, they do pretty well for themselves, and I was a bit surprised when I saw that, but happy at the same time. We love to see George Russell doing well and proving his pace for sure. Now moving on to the top 10 shootout. Now we do have very competitive times indeed, but although they were closer than a second, you could see the difference in laps. I really do enjoy how Sky Sports gives you down a breakdown of each lap, and how they have the commentary along with it from the T-Cam. Really do enjoy that. But now moving on, we do see Lance Stroll going to the 10th place, Fernando Alonso in 9th, Yuki Tsunoda in 8th, Charles Leclerc in 7th, Pierre Gasly filing to the 6th spot, which we have seen him do multiple times over this race weekend and this year. Sergio Perez in 5th, Lando Norris having amazing qualifying with the 104.120 in 4th place, Lewis Hamilton in 3rd, Valtteri Bottas in 2nd, and Max Verstappen taking that pole time, which previously stated was a 103.841. See, now if George Russell had made it into Q3, hypothetically speaking, his time would have got him ahead of Lance Stroll. He set a nicer and faster time than Lance Stroll did in Q2. Now, or Q3. So very nice. You see that he has pace, and we'll see that for sure in his race result. Nope, I lied. I forgot. He DNF'd, and so did Pierre Gasly. But we'll get to that because there was chaos, a lot of chaos in the race. If you don't know, man, chaos is spelled really weird and pronounced even weirder. The English language is kind of crazy. Definitely like this race, Great segue, but definitely like this race. It's definitely a crazy place to be. With such a short track, you get cars lapped. The back runners were lapped 2 to 3 times, which is kind of crazy because it definitely shows that pace difference there and the difference between the cars and how they do struggle. Going off though, we had Pierre Gasly DNF. He didn't make it before turn 3. I believe he collided with 4 cars. Very significant amount. Kind of crazy, but none of them were per se his fault. He was just trying to mind his own business with the puncture and trying to get into pit safely, but he had to come out in lap 1. George Russell had an issue in his right rear pod of his car. They were trying to get the issue fixed. I believe it was a valve or a pressure issue, and they weren't able to get it fixed, so he had to come home early on lap 36. But definitely had some good racing. We saw early on Lando Norris, I wouldn't say concede the position to Sergio Perez, but he really did not fight off very much from it, and he didn't defend very well off turn 3, and Sergio Perez made the move and was able to move on with his race there. But we did see Valtteri Bottas have to very much defend from Sergio Perez. He was putting a lot of pressure on the Finn. Flying fin. That's what it is for sure. And we were seeing that get the better of him as they closed up the gap within 5 tenths by the end of the race. Very close finish for them indeed. But nice way to bring it home for Max Verstappen. He has big fans there. This is, I believe, his home race. Technically, I think he's Norwegian, maybe, Max Verstappen. He's Netherlands, but this is technically basically his home race. So it was nice to see him do well there. Now going down the order here, we did have those 2 DNFs of Pierre Gasly and George Russell. Nikita Mazepin rounded off the grid in 18th place in his Haas. Nicholas Latifi in 17th place. Mick Schumacher in 16th. Giovinazzi in 15th. Ocon in 14th. Ricciardo in 13th. Vettel in 12th. And Kimi Räikkönen in 11th. We did see Kimi make up some places and Giovinazzi lose some places. Tires are a big issue here, and the racecraft is a little bit different. We usually see Giovinazzi do very well here, but this year he struggled. No fault of his pace, I don't think. It was how he was raced and things of that sort. Yuki Tsunoda making it top 10. Fernando Alonso as well, getting nicely filed in there. Lance Stroll in 8th place. The two Ferraris go 6 and 7. Charles Leclerc in 7th place. Carlos Sainz in 6th. Lando Norris filing nicely in the 5th spot after he conceded that position to Sergio Perez in the 4th spot. Flying Finn finishing 3rd, very close to Sergio Perez. Uncomfortably close, I would say. Lewis Hamilton in 2nd place, and Max Verstappen bringing home that trophy for himself and Red Bull Racing. Very nicely done from him. As we do see, they do lead the Drivers' Championship and the Team Championship. So hats off to Max Verstappen, doing a very nice job indeed, and congrats to him on all his success. Obviously, we like to see Hamilton win, but sometimes that's not how it goes. Next time, though, we'll be talking about the Austrian Grand Prix. It's called the Formula 1 BWT Grosser Preis von Österreich 2021. Same place, same track, different time. So we'll be covering that tomorrow. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like on the video, consider subscribing. And until next time, peace.